Today we are going to be meeting with the Texas A&M
Forest
Service. And we're very excited. They're off San Agustin office. We are excited about this partnership.
Yes, we are. Really looking forward to it. So I'm excited to meet with them.
Yeah, it's basically their land stewardship program,
Yes.
where they will assess the property, listen to our goals,
Give them recommendations.
give recommendation. And so I'm very excited because I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
This is a program by Texas A&M,
Texas A&M.
specifically with the Forestry Service.
Yes, like they come out and help landowners.
Like ourselves.
Who
don't know what to do with their
don't
land.
have a clue what we're doing.
To become better stewards of
our property.
So that we are taking care of our land, putting it to good use,
Yes.
building a legacy.
Building a legacy, most important.
All right. Well, we're excited and stay tuned. We got him. He's following us now, and so we don't know what to expect here. Showing him the property, he will be making some assessments and then giving us suggestions based on the goals that we have set. We do have some goals, but we don't know if those are feasible goals. So,
But we hope they are.
That's right. One of our goals is we want to maintain this ranch as a timber production ranch.
That's right.
That's number one. Number two, this is also like a small portion of it will be for our future home or homestead. Yeah. Three, we would like to also have a little portion of this land to be dedicated to some diversification of usage, like maybe have some animals like goats and chicken, maybe other fruits and vegetables as well. We want it to be self-sustaining so that when we do homestead here in the future, we have our resources available. It could also be like a small short-term rental, vacation, Airbnb, whatnot, or maybe a campground. That part we don't know yet, but we can add it to the plan if it's even possible or feasible. And then the fifth one, this one was a debate if we wanted to be a hunting area or a sanctuary for animals. I know some would want this to be for hunting.
We have always been big supporters of loving animals, so we want it to be a sanctuary for animals.
We're pro-hunting, we're pro-hunting, pro-Second Amendment, but there's already a lot of areas in this area for hunting, so we want this to be the sanctuary. All right, update you soon.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. We have
Brett Biley with the Texas A&M Forest Service here in St. Augustine, Texas. And I'm here to help Mr. and Mrs. Calicut decide on their forestry practices and management for their property today.
We really have no idea on how this process goes. We've been asking people around, but we really didn't have any one-on-one or direct contact or information of anybody that is on a know-how of how to...
Like yourself.
Right. So we have a very broad spectrum of management practices that we can offer and guidances. So our website, you can go to our website and get ample amount of information. We also have a management plan, a forest stewardship plan that we write for landowners. That is I believe, a 55 to 60 page guideline. It's very, very tedious to y'all's, or specific to y'all's property.
So it's unique to each property. It's not just like a playbook for everyone.
No, ma'am. It has a bunch of general recommendations that is kind of a playbook for everyone, but the main body of the stewardship plan is very unique and specific to y'all's property itself.
Okay.
And that would be based off data that I entered in from my site visit today with y'all, and that I recognized out here today. So, and I would go back and write it.
Build that for us.
So my personal preference would be in there on the plan.
So is this a program by Texas A&M Forestry?
It is a program by the Texas A&M Forest Service.
I know Texas A&M is very environmentally conscious. They spearhead a lot of programs. Our son is an Aggie, and so we've been exposed to a lot of the programs that they have, but we never really thought about this program until we bought this land. And it's just so many things that you actually have to do to really take care of your property. It's not just let me buy one and leave it be. It's better to at least take care of it.
So typically the process as far as being good stewards of the property that you inherited or bought, be what y'all have already done. You contacted me. I would come out here, do a site visit, and we would assess what is out here and what y'all have, and then we kind of just go from there. We're a free service to the landowners of Texas.
Okay, hold on. I like that word. Is this a free service?
Yes.
All right. Free service. So when you say free, no surprises, no nothing.
No,
so why is it free?
to me, my personal perspective of it would be just because we like to offer the best that we can to our residents of Texas and private landowners of Texas, that we try to help them out in every way possible that we can.
So how much of this is shared with A&M students as they come on board with Forestry Service? So that was their interest.
So we have a lot of interns. Most of the interns are around College Station area. We get some down here every now and then. We never had interns in my office, but typically they're in College Station, and they're called staff foresters. They'll graduate with a forestry degree or about to graduate with a forestry degree of some sort, either it be from Stephen F. Austin University or Texas A&M.
Texas, specifically Texas A&M, they really understand that majority of lands in the U.S., specifically in Texas, is private owned. They want to make sure that we're not messing up the nature.
It's a very proud Texan thing.
It's a very big deal. Land ownership is a very big deal, specifically in Texas. And so we are very proud to be Texans.
We are.
And very proud that, we
ran across this opportunity to do this.
Right. What's the process now?
So the process, like I said, after the site visit today, if y'all wanted to move forward with the Forest Stewardship Program, there's no application or nothing like that, and I would be customize y'all's Forest Stewardship Plan. However many pages it takes. It's generally 50 to 55 pages, and that includes maps of the property,
maps of the property,
the soil content map shows what types of soil, what best soil description, so like what best trees are suited for the soils out here.
Would it tell us what kind of grass we can plant here?
I believe it does.
Because we tried some plants and we tried some
rye
seeds
out front and
they're not really
and if
we're not being successful in it.
If not, I can put specifically in what kind of grass
that would help us.
Good.
Yes.
It's red clay mostly everywhere in St. Augustine County, so it's not very susceptible to a whole lot of stuff besides pine trees.
Except pine.
And that's the topsoil. Obviously, it's good for planting and everything.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's
but once you get below that topsoil, it's red clay.
Okay.
It's
get beneath it.
It's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with and messy when it gets wet. The process is all pretty much just a word of mouth. We have a sister agency. So this is for future reference. Say when it comes time to do a thinning.
Thinning, okay.
And a first time thinning.
And tell me what is thinning.
So a first time thinning, it's going to probably, y'all are looking at about another 2 years. Y'all are going to be ready for a first time thinning, and that is I recommend a third row thinning.
Third row.
Every third row would be taken out. Completely, and then they would take every other tree in the preceding rows. So that's what we call a third row thinning.
What happens to the trees that they take out?
They would haul them to the timber mill.
We sell them?
You sell them, yes. So you always recommend to hire a consultant, a forestry consultant. That is, if y'all are not present landowners, he is here to help monitor.
And that would be you all?
No, ma'am. That would be a private consultant.
Private consultant.
If we are not present.
If you're not present, to be here to watch what's going, to just monitor what's going on and the logs and stuff that are leaving y'all's property on the trailer loads and stuff like that. So, if y'all call us, we can also come out and just help and just keep an eye on things. So hey, Brett, would you mind running out there?
They'd be cutting logs right now.
Just kind of check on it for me.
I saw this article of timber theft.
It is. It's a lot more common than people think it is.
Yes, but somebody was cutting trees and they were not actually the people that's supposed to cut the trees.
Right.
Yeah, and they cut more than what they're supposed to cut. And sold it somewhere else.
Cut over onto someone else's property. If they come and cut y'all's property here, and if there's a tree or a couple trees that they really want, it's just right next door on the neighbor's property.
We actually did the survey and the boundary lines because we wanted to make sure we don't start putting posted signs on trees that are not even ours. Some properties here, they only have like one neighbor on each side. Well, our property there has 3 neighbors because they're oriented different ways. And so the back of their property, 3 of them are actually wrapped around our property. So we're basically wrapped around by 4 properties.
4 properties.
1, 2, 3, and 4 on the side. So we wanted to make sure that we know where our boundaries. And good thing we did, because when we started using our UTV and just checking on the property boundaries, we thought trees that were ours, that we were supposed to claim and put some posted signs. It's not ours.
Yeah, we found out they're outside our property line. So
it was an eye-opening experience for us, because when we first bought this property, we were like, wow, I love those trees, and then come to find they were not ours. So,
Right. Yeah.
or we thought, we wish those are our trees, and they're ours.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we actually had to move a couple of posted signs that was posted here by probably the previous owner, and move it off our property because it was confusing.
Right. Definitely highly recommended that any landowner clear and visible property boundaries. I would also recommend painting with purple paint.
Yes.
Around the boundaries as well. They passed the purple paint law that acts as a no trespassing and boundary marker.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend to do that as well.
Tell us about that process on the purple paint. Like, how do we go about it, and how do we know the trees to paint, and how do we paint it?
So the process that you would really need is already done. Y'all got it surveyed off, and y'all have y'all's property boundaries, y'all's lines.
Yes.
Right? Y'all have
We did those pink string lines.
So, and what you would do is you would take a tree if you had a small hatchet or axe, or knife, or want to shave that outer
like a
bark
machete or something.
Machete or something. So these trees have just the outer bark like that can flake off. You just want to shave a little bit of that off to where it's down to that true hard bark right there that's not going to flake off just by touching it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Shave it down to there and then paint that.
So not just the bark itself.
But get down to the hard part.
And that's not going to hurt the tree?
No, man. As long as you don't cut into the tree itself. Just that outer bark can flake off.
Just the skin, kind of like
just the skin.
How big of the paint do we need to put?
You can paint just like
this, and then how many trees do we need to paint it on?
It doesn't matter.
As much as we can.
Yeah, as much as y'all want to, y'all can paint every single tree that's on the line if y'all want.
Any specific paint that we use?
No, ma'am. That's just
as long as purple.
Regular purple paint.
There's no Barney purple or any.
There's no special kind of purple paint. A lot of people do try to go out and buy the real expensive like acrylic purple paint. So it's not necessary.
We've seen those like $10 per spray, and
you can go buy a can of spray paint, purple spray paint, and it does the trick.
That's the same thing.
Perfect.
All right.
I would need to know what y'all's goals are.
Our first goal is make sure we maintain the timber production.
Right.
We actually bought this property with the full understanding that the use of the property is for timber production, and we want to maintain it that way. We fell in love with the pines, and we like timber being really very helpful and useful. Basically, it's the most sustainable way of construction, and so we want to make sure that we're part of that cycle. We want to maintain that the timber production value of this property.
Yeah, and this is definitely set up for that. So this is a pine plantation, textbook plantation, loblolly pines.
We've been looking in this longleaf program. Is that possible for this property to do the longleaf? And what would be the advantage and pros and cons of shifting to a longleaf?
It is possible, 100% possible, because at the end of the day, it's y'all's property that y'all are free to do whatever y'all want to do with it. Okay, so I will tell you the soil out here is really not suited for longleaf pine.
Okay.
They will grow. It'll do fine. Probably they won't die or nothing like that. They're just not going to be. Not going to grow at the rate that they're supposed to grow at.
So loblolly is the perfect.
Loblolly is the more susceptible tree for this type of soil, and generally longleaves they love a sandy soil type.
Gotcha.
Not the clay.
Not the clay. No,
gotcha.
They love sandy soil, and they do the best in sandy soil.
So not every pine is the same. So pines are all different.
They're all different. Loblollies and a little bit of slash have been genetically improved and intertwined to genetically adjusted and adapted to be able to grow at a faster rate for better timber production. Longleaf have not been messed with at all. They were our native tree here to Texas, so they did not mess with it at all. Okay, they left it alone. That's why it doesn't grow as fast. So that's why the loblollies like this. These trees here, they're probably 12 years old.
Oh, okay. These are like 12-year-old trees. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many years before we start harvesting them?
You could harvest right now if you wanted to. I would recommend letting it go another year or two, probably to 13 to mid 13 years old to
cut them off when they're teenager.
Yep. Definitely.
Right when they become a teenager.
Just cut them off. Right
cut
there.
them
That's
off.
the trick to it.
Just remember that 13.
Yeah. So around the 13 to 14 year mark.
Okay.
Some people push it to 15, but like you mentioned a while ago, you have a few trees here that's already kind of dying off, and that's very common, and it's natural for them to do. They shed the weaker trees out, so they'll go ahead and shed and start dying off. Okay. And the better trees will jump up above them.
Okay, so we better, because we did see a couple.
So it's okay to go ahead and thin those out.
It's okay.
We did see one there, and then another one there.
Right. So that's their natural their natural thinning process. Okay.
So they're killing. Basically, they're
getting
dying.
rid of the weak limbs.
They're getting rid of the weak ones. They are getting rid of the weak ones.
Timber production is our number one.
Number one.
2, in the future, we're not yet ready to retire, but we are looking forward to retiring here. We went through a lot of land looking at them, and this is the one place that we said this is it. We fell in love not just with the land itself, but the surrounding area. The people around here really are nice people. We love that it is just less than an hour away from the city, but also far away where we have our privacy. We love the area where we have the 2 lakes that I surround. Yeah, that's right. We're right in the middle of the Toledo.
2 largest lakes in Texas.
That's right.
Exactly. So we fell in love with that one because his father, he grew up fishing.
Yeah. Toledo Bend is actually the largest lake. It would have been. It's just half of it's in Louisiana.
I know, right? We're gonna share with Louisiana, and so it's in between that and plus the national forest. So we kind of thought, hey, if that's surrounded by the national forest, then our property would probably, this will not be very commercialized area. Hopefully that would happen.
They'll continue
to preserve the San Agustin to be more of like
nature preserve.
Right. Yeah. We love wildlife.
Yes.
Cattle industry is a big thing here. Poultry is a big thing here.
That's another one. Is once we retire here or we make this our homestead, to have some animals or like chicken and goats, and you said cattle. I don't know if I'm good enough for that one, but I might have to ask you for advice on that one. But chicken, probably I can manage some chicken.
Chickens I think would definitely be a go-to route.
Is goat easy?
Goats are easy. Yeah, they require little maintenance.
That's why they said that you can help, like
they kind of graze themselves,
and clean up the property. I'm not
they'll
sure.
eat anything.
They'll eat anything.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I got a section. I'll put them in.
So basically they're natural lawnmower.
They are.
I love that already.
100%. I mean, they'll eat the pink flagging off those trees.
Oh my goodness!
Anything that they can get to, they will eat it.
They'll go
oh my goodness! So when you say cattle, that will be a little bit more of work there.
It's a little bit more work just because it's a bigger animal. But for here, you wouldn't be able to run, as far enough cattle on here too.
Yeah, it's 25 acres only.
For your buck, 20 acres, you could probably run 4 to 5 cows on it.
Yeah,
and that would be that's
pushing
really pushing it, right?
Yeah. Goat and chicken are probably
that'll be the way.
And then also we're looking into adding some fruit trees and vegetables.
They do well here.
Okay, what kind of fruits would
apple
do well?
trees, oranges.
Okay.
Peach trees do really well.
Oh wow!
So
he's a mango person. Would mango work here?
I'm not sure.
Sorry, but
I'll have to settle for pears.
Pears do really good here.
Pears, okay, we're good with that.
Mangoes, I've never seen anybody with a mango tree. You could probably start it in like some compost or something, let it get established and then try to put it in the ground and see if it would take off.
Right.
I've never seen one, but again, I'm not saying
but
that
at least this
work.
is good for fruits and vegetables, and we can do that
it's definitely,
here.
I know several people around where I live, same soil type. They have orange trees, apple trees, pear trees, and peach trees.
Okay. Okay.
And then
and what about, like, say, just your regular garden vegetables?
Blueberries, all your vegetables do good here. Your nightshades, everything do well here.
Okay.
You shouldn't have any issue.
Perfect.
Like you eat vegetables. He's not really a vegetable person.
Right.
But,
as long as you stay, within seasonal, because we're getting pretty close to probably the end of this month is when you'd want to start kind of planting.
Okay.
So most of your hardy, like I say hardy, would be your frost resistant vegetables. We typically still have one more frost in
one
March.
more frost.
Yeah.
Oh my
Usually we'll have at least one more frost in March.
Okay.
So
the other one, so we have the timber, the homestead, the diversification, animals, and agriculture.
Possible being
the other one, like short-term rental, camping grounds, either as tent areas or maybe in a couple of Airbnb cabin and all that.
Right.
That's something I don't know if it's feasible without really destroying or disturbing.
You can, like I said, you wouldn't need much. So like a little spot, it looks like that you have cleared out for y'all's building. That's all you need.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's okay.
I mean, that would be all you need.
So you can put that in there or something.
Oh yeah, a little pocket here and there.
Just a little pocket here and there.
And that's what we want. Is just like a small campground, like a fire pit, or like a meditation area, or people that want to rent a small space for when they go on excursions or churches and all that.
The most expensive part would that be was to get electricity in here.
Yes.
That would be y'all's most expense.
Yes.
Right.
And I guess if y'all was to put like buildings on it or something like that,
That's eventually we're looking into getting the detect. They already have the light poles there, but it's expensive to bring in electricity.
It used to be free up to every 1,000 feet.
We're gonna wait for a little bit. We're probably gonna go off grid for a while until we're really ready, because it's very expensive.
And I was gonna mention earlier too. So we have a sister agency called the NRCS, National Soil and Conservation Service.
Okay.
And what they do is they do a lot of incentive programs.
Okay.
So as far as thinning, they do not have any incentive programs for a first thinning or thinning at all.
Okay.
But they have a program called EQIP. It's Environmental Quality Incentive Program.
Okay.
Like EQIP, short for equipment. And what that is you have to have a minimum of 10 acres to apply for EQIP. And what that involves is if you had a clear cut out here, so I'll go through the steps. Your first thinning, like I said, in the next year or two, is when you'd want to do a first thin.
Okay.
It's called pine pulpwood.
Pine
pulpwood.
Okay.
All right. What that is that 6 to 8 inch diameter tree up to a 2 to 4 inch top.
Okay.
Most everywhere around here is a 4 inch top. But 2 to 4 inch tops are good. It's a good number evaluation to kind of stay in between. All right, so that's pine pulpwood, and that's in the next year or two. That's typically around the age 13 to 14 years old.
Okay.
All right, so once that is done, 5 years from there, 3 to 5 years from there, is your second thinning.
Okay.
So probably around that 18 to 20 years of age, it's time for a second thin.
Okay.
And then 5 years after that, 5 to 7, depending on how long you want to go. 5 to 7 years after the second thinning is when you want to do a final harvest.
Okay.
If
so
that's if you want to.
When you thin, do you replace it with
No ma'am.
thing?
No ma'am.
What happens then?
So it stays what it is. So how it works is they go off of a basal area, which is basically a stumpage count of the density of the trees that you have on the place. So right now, what it is, your basal area, I've been doing it for a little while, so I can kind of look at it. You're running at probably about 115, 120 basal area, and that's a number that's based off how many trees is in one compacted area, the density of it. So when they do a thinning, they try to get it down to 80 basal area, and it's big. It sounds like a big jump, but it's not. When you put eyes on it, it's not that bad. They're not just going to come through here and
just clear it out
and rip you, with trees away from you. They try to get it down to 80% basal area, and they do that every single time.
So how do we know then when to replace it? Are we supposed to plant new ones, or
you won't replace it until it's the final harvest?
When the final harvest happens.
When the final
so
harvest
when they all
happens,
are gone?
when they're all are gone, that's when you would restart and replant and start over.
Okay, so what happens then? We're gonna be no more trees or something?
No more trees. That's if you want. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
That's not anything that's set in
So
stone.
some people really do.
So say for instance, if we want to do it on 12 acres, the whole 12 acres, we could do that 12 acres.
So that's what I was getting at with an RCS. You have to have at least 10 acres minimum to file for the application of EQIP. So yes, if you want to do 12 acres that you constantly cut and manage for timber production and replant, then that's what you can do. But you can cut and manage all of it. But if you want to consolidate the 12 acres, off in the back to where you're not going to see, to where that's going to be the 12 acres that I constantly go through. Like I final harvest on it and then replant.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3 thinnings, final harvest and replant.
Okay. That's what we were
So,
kind of thinking is the front part of the property would be our homestead, and for the the short-term rentals and the agriculture and the animals where we can easily access it.
Right.
And then the back we're like, hey, for production. So
a lot of people typically do that. They tuck it off in the back, where just sight unseen type deal, to where because and I won't lie to you, a clear cut, it's not a pretty thing to look at by any means, because it looks just like it does right here, except with stumps and timber slash and stuff throughout it, and ruts and stuff from the skidder and equipment and all that.
The other one is the debate between the hunting, and we are pro-gun, and we're thinking about whether we do hunting here or we keep it as a sanctuary. But when we initially were thinking, hey, we're gonna do some hunting here and all that, when we saw some animals and we have a creek actually that crosses from
through here,
the middle of our property, from that other lot to this other lot to this lot. We're kind of thinking, maybe it will be a way for them to graze and be their sanctuary for them.
So it'll definitely do that, and they will definitely, like whitetail deer, they'll definitely utilize the sanctuary. They're a very repetitive animal, so if they're used to coming through here and they know that nothing is endangering them here, they will stay here.
So
they will
continue coming through.
Continue coming through.
So we want that, to utilize, to maximize that creek, because right now it's seasonal, so it was very dry during summer. We didn't even know we had that much water there. The big one that we have to actually cross with our UTV, and so we were pleasantly surprised that we have that much water there.
They're very smart animals. If you leave them untouched, they'll continue to come here.
We wanted to have some food plots for them.
But I tell you that too, y'all do like to hunt. If you don't scare the does as much, they will stay here too. They're not gonna leave. So they're very smart, and they know they're safe. They know when something isn't right. So things are not where they're supposed to be. They do very, very good. And the creek y'all talking about. So we have B&P's best management practices. And we highly recommend that landowners kind of follow best management practices. Especially around any bodies of water, ephemeral streams, anything like that, intermittent streams, all that stuff. And what that is, so we have also a streamside management zone. SMZ.
Is it going to be included in our stewardship program?
Yes. All this information that I told you the other day will be in the stewardship.
That's why it's 50 to 60 pages.
Yes, it will all be in there. Because people forget. And it's like
it's very important.
A lot of information.
You can't absorb it all.
Right. So all of it will be in there. But streamside management zones we tend to leave untouched, and what that is any body of water or stream, we leave a 100-foot buffer.
Yes.
That means 50
no
foot.
touch.
50 foot on both sides, on each side. And they leave that untouched. You can thin within the buffer, like what they do here. They'll take 1 or 2 trees out within the buffer, but you do not want to clear cut it all the way up to the creek. You don't want to do that.
The other thing is
erosion and all that.
That's right. The other thing that we were very careful of, because one of our thought process was, hey, we want to have somebody build a pond here, but we also don't want that disturbing the natural flow of the creek.
What a lot of people tend to do to keep the creek, so if it's a spring, if it's a spring-fed creek, a lot of people, they'll typically take a portion or a spot within the creek that they want, build the pond. So the creek is feeding the pond, and then they'll have another culvert on the other side of the pond to allow it to continue. When it gets to an overfill, it'll continue to flow through the rest of the creek. So you're not you are disturbing the creek,
but facilitating it still.
But you're still allowing the flow of water to continue downstream.
Especially the creek starts actually from another neighbor.
Right.
It's close to us. It crosses, and then it actually crosses another neighbor before it goes back
before it crosses underneath the road.
This clearing is supposed to be further down, but then we didn't want to touch that creek at all. We wanted to be at least 100 feet away from it, and so this one moved further forward.
Well, it's a great thing what y'all have going so far. Like y'all mentioned, the mutual aid between all the landowners here. We used to have what we call the Tri-County Landowner Association, and that's pretty much what y'all already kind of have going.
They call it the the Property Owners Association.
Right. Yeah.
So we've been blessed that the land developer did that. I know a lot of people shy away or like really avoid homeowners or landowners association, but we kind of like that because
it's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, it's very, very minimal. We love that for this development, it's very minimal restriction. The only restriction that they have there was no pigs and no peacock.
Why no pigs and no
Why
peacocks?
no pigs and peacocks?
Pigs are a nuisance to the state of Texas.
Oh.
So, and
Did
that
not know
really,
that. That's why we like bacon here.
So that really depends. And like you know, you can buy domestic hogs. As far as the association, I'm not sure why they would sanction any kind of rules away from like domestic pigs or anything like that.
So you're talking about the pigs.
The wild pigs.
The wild pigs are the ones that
they're the nuisance.
They're the nuisance.
Like the hogs.
The hogs, yes, ma'am.
The one that have like those big tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll shoot those.
Yeah. And that's
those are tasty though.
Highly recommended.
Those are tasty burgers.
Yeah, highly recommended. You know that
they destroy property.
Getting those out every chance you get.
Okay.
So they're a big nuisance here, and that's probably why they said that.
So they just made every pig the same.
Right. Yeah.
We did not understand why is pig not allowed. And peacock also.
Peacock, that's a new one to me. I'm not sure why the peacocks would be a threat or
One of our friends that actually have a ranch, he said that peacocks can be very aggressive.
Probably so. My mother had peacocks.
Do they attack people or like?
And that's what I was gonna say. They've never shown any kind of.
They seem to be like so pretty, right? So those are the only two restrictions actually that they have that we were like wondering why, but it was okay with us because we were thinking more of like chicken and goat anyway, maybe a horse or so. But other than that, the restrictions are very light. We love that you can't just re-subdivide the land. I think the minimum size to subdivide the land is 5 acres. Because you don't want a neighbor all of a sudden having a subdivision here of 1 acre property. That would be crazy, right? And so we love the restriction, but at the same time we want to have the freedom to do what we would like.
So I have to see the when you work up for us on this, the playbook.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of information, even in the stewardship plan. But if y'all any questions about it at all, or need me to come back out, if you have a question or concern, we do a lot of sick tree calls.
Okay.
If you're concerned with the health of the tree that doesn't look right to you, or whatever, we come back out and help that.
It's like a doctor, huh? Sick tree, like, hey, can you check on this tree?
We're
is it
kind
sick
of like
or is
tree
it
doctors? So we've been called the tree doctors and the tree police. So
tree doctors and tree police. Well, that basically sums up your job, basically, right there. Huh? But now, do we go? What's the process now? Do you go on your own? Do you wander on your own, or do we go with you?
This is a strictly pine plantation that was planted for timber production. Not sure what they did exactly with this before it was parceled up and split up to be sold off, subdivided up. But it was planted for timber production.
The stewardship plan is also known as property management plan. Is that the same?
Yeah, we used to actually have what we call a management plan and a forest stewardship plan.
Yes.
And the management plan was more along the lines of just like a 1 to 2 page little write-up that we did, just kind of a guidance. There wasn't a whole lot of information with them. Okay. And they kind of did away with the management plan. I believe because of the fact that it just lacked information. And people weren't as satisfied with it, because they left it up to us when we went out and visited a tract to whether we decided it needed a management plan or a stewardship plan. So now they just kicked it all to where we got a stewardship plan.
Okay.
So everybody's kind of getting the same.
We call it a stewardship. Okay. Basically, we are just continuing exactly how it is.
Right.
And so it's tagged as a timber production property, and that's what we want.
We want to continue with that.
We want to have the aesthetics, but most importantly, what it was actually initially designed for.
Yeah.
And it seems like the pines are really growing really well here.
They do.
Every time I tell people that we're in East Texas, everybody will be like, wow, those are a lot of pines there. And I travel all over Texas. I love the entirety of Texas. So
that's what we call the piney woods. They call it
exactly, but you can actually see the difference of West Texas, North Texas,
most definitely.
South.
Like you drew a line in the sand,
That's
I'm like, this is still Texas, and I have to remind myself this is still Texas. It's just flat and plain and all that. And then you go here and that's why whenever they depict Texas in movies and all that, I'm like, no, that's just one part of it.
Yeah,
You know, that's just one.
It's always the Western Plains and stuff like that. You know,
That's right, right? Like the rattlesnakes
Prairie,
and all
you know,
that. So.
timber rattlesnakes.
And they are poisonous.
Yes, highly venomous, highly venomous.
What do
So
we do with those?
they're actually a protected species. You cannot kill them.
Oh.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you see one, you cannot kill them.
Just
So
let
what
him
do we
go
do?
his own way.
Yeah, just try, just avoid him and let him do his thing.
Let him kill a person?
No.
No.
Like, for example, timber gets to him.
You know,
They'll be like, sorry, baby.
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't.
I go to jail or
I couldn't tell you whether.
what do we do?
I'm not a game warden, so I don't know what they would tell you in that situation.
It's like,
if one was biting you.
I think
but,
that's a protected species there, babe.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
we're gonna have to build some traps.
I'm sure some kind of self-defense would come into
I'll be
play.
like
that.
in handcuffs, like, why'd you let your husband die? Well, protected species. And they're like, yep.
But the biggest threat of snakes that you're going to see here is copperheads,
Copperheads.
and they're highly.
When do we
venomous as well.
usually see snakes? Because right now we've been just walking around here.
I seen one water moccasin here a week ago. Okay, so as we get the warmer weather right now starting to come back in a little bit,
Right.
they'll come out of hibernation
Right.
and start kind of.
But they normally thrive where there's a constant flow of water.
Water moccasins do, yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
if you have a creek that runs dry, it's not necessarily a habitat for them. They're going to go where the water is
Right,
more
they
plentiful.
try to follow the water.
So the timber
copperheads, they love this stuff. Timber rattlers, they love this stuff.
Uh-huh.
They love pine
Pine
needles because
they hide under
they
pine
hide
needles.
underneath it. So just be mindful when you're doing work.
Right.
I know some people that have got bit by copperheads.
What do we do when we get bit?
When you get bit?
Yeah. Just go straight to the hospital.
Yes.
We have how many minutes before we die?
I do not know.
Oh, Lord.
do not
But you
know.
got to get there pretty fast.
I know. I can tell you that a rattlesnake is going to be the less amount of time.
Okay.
So I believe the two most venomous here are the timber rattlers, and I want to say the water moccasin or cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth is the same water moccasin.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty
those
sure they're
those
gonna be but
cover that
leggings.
we put that on our legs, those would be good.
snake boots, yeah, you can have snake boots that come up to knee high.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Do they usually attack from the top or just on the legs?
they're all ground.
Ground.
Okay.
Ground.
So they
crawlers.
don't just crawl on the tree and attack you.
We do no man. We do have some snakes that actually do get in the trees, but they're typically none of those are venomous.
Yeah, they're trying to get away from them.
Right, they're like a chicken snake or something.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And a
Because
chicken
sometimes we're walking through the,
Right.
the woods and they're like, ah!
grass snakes will sometimes
Yeah.
crawl into the trees,
Yeah.
and chicken snakes will scare you more than anything because they are highly aggressive. They're
Chicken
not-
snake.
Chicken
They're
snakes.
trying to scare you off.
You're right. They're a highly aggressive snake, and they get like 5 to 6 foot long.
How do you
And
know
they're
it's a
black.
chicken snake? It's black.
It's black. I promise you will know exactly what it is when you see it. I have never seen one under 5 foot long in my life.
And do they normally eat chickens or they eat the eggs?
They eat the eggs,
Okay.
and like I said, they're non-venomous. They're harmless to humans, but they're just a very aggressive.
Is it
snake.
the one that kills other snakes too? Or no?
Oh, that's an
There's
indigo.
we call them a spread matter, or a hognose snake.
Uh-huh.
Is what we call those, and they will eat other snakes as well. And
Are they venomous?
No, they're not venomous. They
So
look
those
like-
are the ones we want to keep.
they
Yeah.
are harmless, but they're not really affecting a whole lot.
Would having cats in the property help?
yes.
So we just throw a lot of cats over here.
Yep, you get you a cat or two, and
Uh-huh.
you'll be just fine. You won't see them.
Okay.
Even the venomous snakes, they'll
They'll
they take care
take
of 'em.
off. Okay. Okay.
We are dog people, but we are now gonna be cat people.
Dogs.
I'm
will,
telling you, we're
do
now
what they
cat
can.
people.
Dogs will do what they can.
But
My-
cats are better.
Cats are better. They're vicious animals.
Our dogs are doodles. They're probably just
Yeah,
be the first one to run.
I have a German Shepherd, and he's a big wussy when it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will be first
so
one
are
to
we.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all bark, no bite.
That's right.
I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot. Just be mindful when you are out walking around and stuff that you're probably going to run across a copperhead before you with anything else.
Okay.
Now we are putting a shed right there.
And I'm sorry when
And-
you said
oh,
when you get bit.
Yes.
Just for whatever typically it depends on
Where
it's
you
at,
bit, where you
you're
bit.
bit at, but tourniquet off.
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet
A
off.
cut off the flow.
Oh, so
off the flow.
so if it's here, you need to tourniquet here.
Yes.
So that it doesn't go to your heart or something.
Okay.
Yeah, cut off the flow.
So if it's here, I'm gonna tie it around you.
'Cause I do know a guy actually I'm close to has had 2 or 3 fingers amputated because he's been bit.
Wow.
Yeah, he got bit. I think he was actually reaching down into his chicken coop, but or something. He was reaching down for something, and the copperhead bit him on his middle finger, and he pulled it up and he grabbed it, pulled it off, and then it turned around and bit him on this hand.
Oh, wow.
I think on his thumb.
Wow.
And then it bit him and released, and then bit him back again on this hand.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's
Bit him 3 times.
missing 3 fingers.
Oh my
out of
lordy!
one incident.
Wow.
So it's and
Please save me when that happens. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Don't care.
I'll cut off your fingers.
so right here, y'all are really close to this little CHI hospital in St. Augustine.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
and
So they know how to treat snake bites because
Oh, yeah,
they've
they-
seen a
they
lot of
keep-
those, right? I don't like snake bite, so they know what to do. They're
They
not gonna
keep
be.
antivenom.
Antivenom.
on-
And is it
on there.
also
know.
wise to use antivenom on our dogs?
I'll be honest with you, most dogs can fight it off.
Okay.
Their own body produces it, whatever it is they produce, but most of them can fight it off,
Okay.
especially a bigger dog.
Do we put the utilities in so that we can do all this management, or can we manage it without the utilities?
Do y'all have utilities here now? Or
We
no?
don't.
have
We don't
any-
have electricity, water,
No.
and septic. So they do have the
power
the
lines on.
DTEC already put the power lines. They're all live.
So-
we can just bring them in, but it's bringing them in that's expensive.
It is expensive.
Well, the
But,
house is going to be maybe several more years down the road, 3 to
Right.
5 years.
Right.
But this shed that we have is mostly just, we're going to be off grid, basically not going to be doing, so we're
Right.
just going to have an outhouse somewhere. Do you have anything else to tell us, Brand, that you need to know
share
about
with
this?
us?
No,
This property, about this process? Or
if you're really in the timber management, lean toward the more timber management for production side, you're kind of just on a wait right now, kind of letting
Wait
it
for
grow.
things to produce.
Yeah, letting it grow a little bit more.
Okay.
so what we're going to do next year is just wait for you to bring us out the stewardship plan.
I'll have that. I can have that to y'all in the next week or 2.
Okay.
Well, you ready? Well, you probably have a
we're
good
on
memory, so
board.
you know what our plans are, our
Yes.
goals.
Yes.
The homesteading, the diversification,
Right.
animals, to make it sanctuary, and short-term
Short-term
the
campsites.
and Airbnbs
Airbnb,
out of it. So, but mostly timber production.
Mostly timber production. Like I said, y'all are kind of at a standstill as far as the production side of it. Like I said, you don't even have to cut it at that time. You can wait till the market comes up.
Yeah.
And when does the market comes up normally?
Yeah, every day. It's up one day
It just
and
go
down
up
the
and
next.
down.
It
Okay.
fluctuates so much.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, we have market prices on our website. But I do not know when they call and gather. Like it could be 3 months prior, when they got those quotas and got those prices. So I always recommend a landowner to call the mills.
Okay.
They give you that information right there over the phone. Call the
But
mill and ask them what they're what is your prices right now, and they'll give you the breakdown of pine pulpwood, which is what you have right now.
Okay.
Saw timber, which is the 10 to 12 inch diameter trees.
Okay.
Chip and saw, 10 to 12 inch diameter trees, and then saw timber, anything to 15 inches. And up.
Those are big
15
ones.
yeah.
So they'll give you a breakdown of all that.
Okay.
But we can also contact your office if we are ready for thinning.
If you're ready for thinning, and like I said, the 2 years come up, and y'all are just curious if you're there or not, give me a call. I'll come back out, or one of us, if I happen not be there, one of us can come back out and tell you, yay or nay that I think it's ready to be thinned, or y'all should wait a little bit longer. That'll be a little bit bigger.
Okay. So right now, from what you see, we're about a year away.
About a year away, year and a half away.
Okay.
Yeah. But as far as everything else, like the campsites, that's at your own leisure.
Okay.
Or at y'all's own whatever y'all decide to do. The creeks, if you wanted to just kind of thin it out by hand, that's up to y'all as well. At the end of the day, I tell every landowner it is y'all's property.
Okay.
To do what you want to.
Well,
if you want to walk through here and thin the trees out that you want thinned out, and leave the rest of them, that's y'all.
It's up to us.
That's
We're
y'all's
gonna be
choice.
doing some walking trails around the property, so we can. Because now that we know the boundaries, our plan, because right now they mulch the shared boundary, shared, but it's actually
It's kind of zigzag all the way through.
And so now that we know, I told them, now that we know. So it's weird for us to still, use the other person's property if we already know it's ours.
Right.
So it's not ours. So we're trying to stay now within our boundary start doing our.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, y'all, it's been recently surveyed, all of this, so the stakes should be there still. Typically, they'll have a corner.
Yeah.
Yes, they
And
do.
then they'll have, depending on how far apart it is.
We actually
a
had
couple
to,
more
we
stakes
actually
in
had to get it
between.
resurveyed because when they did the mulching, all those things just disappeared.
Yeah,
And
they-
so,
Right, they mulch right over them.
So we had them do T-posts, and it's
crazy.
Yeah.
expensive.
Before, if, any kind of equipment, as far as, and like I said today, that's a year or two now away from now before y'all really ready to do that. But before any kind of heavy equipment or loggers come in here and start doing any work, I highly recommend having the purple paint.
Okay.
Clear and very clear and visible
Okay.
boundary lines,
Yeah.
just so that that skidder operator or shear operator
No.
they know.
And we also have
And
some.
like I say, it's not on y'all if it happens. It's not on y'all. It's on the logger.
Yeah.
Because it'll be in a contract.
We'll definitely put out the purple paint.
Definitely.
Yes, I
That's
highly
gonna-
recommend that.
that's the
And
next
so,
one.
and the way you do that, I left out a very important detail when you do it. So, what I recommend is doing the whole tree all the way around.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's put a band on it.
Uh-huh.
All the way around the tree, and chest high, chest to head high. Don't do it low.
Knee high or
Do it
yeah.
chest high or head high. Okay. But you also, what I recommend to do is you can do a single band, or you can do a three slashes, diagonal slashes over it, okay? But the most important thing is whatever you decide to do, if you don't decide to wrap it around the whole tree, is you do it where, so if you're, say that this corner right here is your boundary line, you want to do it where your back is facing your property, okay?
Okay.
All the way around it. So your back is always, like, you don't come around here and like this is someone else's property on that side and paint that side.
Gotcha.
You want to paint your side of the tree
Only.
even though the whole tree is yours. You want to paint your side of the tree or
Okay.
all the way around it. Okay.
We thought it was the opposite way. I thought I'm going to put a band
On the opposite
where
side.
they can see it, so that they were like, hey, when they see the purple paint, they won't go to us.
So that's why we recommend doing the band for a boundary line. You can do a band and 3 slashes.
Okay.
The 3 slashes are mainly for a shear operator. Okay.
So
when they're
if
cutting.
this is our
So they're-
property, we put the paint where we can see it.
where y'all can see it, because the reason for that is so a shear operator, okay, when they're coming in, they're cutting.
Okay, they can see it on our
They're
side.
on your property. They're not going to be coming from someone else's property. So
That's for the purpose of making sure they don't touch it.
Make sure
But
they
how
don't
about
touch people.
for the purpose of people not
do the
crossing
band.
our property? That's why we do it. To
So
prevent them from
typically
coming in, you put it
A band.
outside. But if the purpose of staying in your property, you want to keep it.
Yep.
safe.
And typically, what you can do is
Okay.
you can put one tree, a bit of band,
Uh-huh.
and then another tree after that, pretty close to it, do the 3 slashes.
Okay.
That way,
So that one is for this is our property. To have that is to make sure that the loggers stay in our property
Right.
and not go across
Not
them.
go across.
But the one, if we want people not to get into our property, we put the band or the paint outside,
on the other side.
so that when they walk up, they're not
They
gonna
should-
go.
Okay.
That makes sense. Well,
Always put it when you're walking toward it. You see.
Okay.
yes. So now they know that you don't cross here. Just use on the purple paint.
Yeah.
And then we can also put the Homestead. So we have some Homestead signs also. We can put the Homestead signs on the behind
On their side.
their side, so that it's facing our.
So
They-
like when they walk toward, they see that
they see
tree,
right
they
away
post
that's
a
our
sign
property.
saying, do not pass here, no trespassing.
Yes, that's
Okay.
our line. So
Okay.
so we post it. We go behind and
Yeah, we put it
Right.
on.
And
makes
there's
sense.
instructions on how to do it in this plan too. And stuff.
Okay.
Right? And
Cool.
it's pretty good. You know, if y'all have any questions for me, I'm always
We're just
I
excited.
have all day.
But we're very, very thankful that you
y'all
came
are
out
welcome.
and
Yeah.
shared
Nice
that
to
information.
meet
and
We're
for
looking forward
answering
to
all
it.
of our questions
Yes.
because we were actually talking about it. Like, what are we gonna ask him? What do we expect?
It's it's different. Every landowner is different, you know, and every site visit is different.
Uh-huh.
It's always I always get started. Just I want to know, you know, what your goals are.
Yes.
And if you already have goals in mind, or I can help you come up with goals based off what I see.
Oh, thank you, Brett. I
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate
Y'all
it.
welcome. If y'all any more questions, just give me a call.
Oh, you know,
We definitely will. We definitely will. We're looking forward to
well, we
it.
look forward to it, and thank you for.
And we're very excited to team up with Texas A&M
Yeah.
Forestry.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.